guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today for you guys is another Ninjago video. Today we're tackling, actually I mentioned it in a short, my latest short at the time of recording this at least, is where I basically talked about this new Ninjago book called Quest for the Lost Powers, for Untold Stories or Tales, whatever, Tales. And this is a canon Ninjago book. It takes place after Season 15 Crystallized. So if you have not seen Ninjago Season 15 Crystallized or anything like that, if you don't want to get spoiled on this, because again, it takes place after that, after Crystallized Season 15, do not watch these videos. There's going to be 4, alright? Because there's 4 ninja, Kai, Cole, Zane, and Jay. I keep wanting to say Zay and Jane, but it's Zane and Jay. I don't know why. But there's going to be 4 videos each for, one ninja, and today is, of course, Kai, if you've seen the thumbnail, or read the title, or whatever. So yeah, we're talking about Kai, the Fire Ninja. Now again, this is your last warning. If you haven't seen Season 15, you don't want to see what happens, and or you just don't want to get spoiled on the book, I got it for 12 bucks on Amazon. So it definitely is worth it. It's a good, it's a good 186 pages. I think it's really good. It's a good, it's not necessarily the most difficult read. I wouldn't call it a kid's book. I would just call it a good piece of Ninjago canon that every age group can enjoy. Right? I'm 24, and this is captivating me more than half the Star Wars books I read. So again, it's very not done to throw shade at Star Wars, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's a good, pretty good written book. So we're going to talk on the Kai chapter first, and I'm going to show you guys some some pictures and all that in the book, but it starts off with a little prologue by Master Wu, because again, this is a canon book, so it's not written, technically it's written by 2 people, but this is technically written by Wu, right? And his account's got some cool little images there, which is pretty cool to see of the ninja. Now the first one is Kai, as you can clearly see. This is the first one I read. I haven't read the others, right? So Cole, Zane, and Jay, I have not read those yet. That's going to be coming up later. But chapter 1 is called Kai's Lost Spark, and it basically goes into, again, after Crystallized, right, the ninja kind of combine and they use all of their powers to defeat the Crystal King, right, and then to form that giant elemental dragon. And with the help of Lloyd, they kind of F up the Crystal King, the Overlord, right, he dies, quote unquote, and I'm sure he's dead. I hope he's dead. But Kai is kind of, all their powers are gone, and this is probably, I'm 50-50 on the story, alright, because look, the illustrations are good, there's Skylar Chen, which, this is from what I believe the first time they actually call her by her real name, Skylar Chen, which is weird, because I thought Chen was his first name, so obviously he wasn't born with the name Master as his first legal name, so, we'll have to see what Master Chen's real first name is, but her name's Skylar Chen, which is cool that they're actually acknowledging that in canon now. So she's kind of talking to Kai, right? Kai's at Skylar's noodle shop, Master Chen's noodle shop in the city, and he's kind of eating, and he's kind of going through this crazy spout where he's like, I don't really know what's going on with my powers. They're gone, I'm feeling kind of helpless, and if you've watched the show, which I'm assuming you have if you're watching this video, there is a similar arc to this in Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu Season 11, the Fire chapter, which basically, if you remember, Kai gets his powers. It's literally stolen from the snake witch Asphira, and regardless of the quality of that, Asphira takes Kai's powers. And Kai kind of has to deal with being powerless while all the other ninja have powers. Now, he kind of goes through a similar arc where Kai feels kind of useless. He's always, doubting himself, going, I'm just, you guys have all the effing powers. I'm just Kai the ninja. I don't have fire powers anymore. And eventually, he does get his powers back and all of that, which is obvious. It just kind of, it was a really cool and I think unique arc for Kai to go through in that season. And the fact that they're kind of redoing it here is a bit boring, a bit like they kind of ran out of an idea. But at the same time, in Season 11, right, Kai kind of had a little bit of hope, He kind of was like, okay, I don't have my powers, but I can get them back, I can do that, because all you guys have your powers and there's a hope. In this, every elemental master, I guess Nia and Lloyd not included, but, Kai, Cole, Zane, and Jay, they all got their powers, not taken, but, kind of, it's like, it's like they kind of left away and went away to, as Master Wu said, whence they came, so that is kind of cool that, it's not like Kai is the only one. They all don't have their powers. And they all just defeated the most powerful, basically the Thanos, the new Kang, the Emperor Palpatine of Ninjago. So they're kind of like, what do we do now? What's going on? And Kai's kind of got a little down to the dumps. So again, it's 50-50. It's bad in a way because they've already done it, but it's also good because unlike Season 11, in here, in this, book, he really doesn't have any hope that it can come back, because all the ninjas are gone. You know, he feels genuinely like, all right, we defeated the best evil that Ninjago's ever seen. I don't have my powers. What am I gonna do? I'm effed. You know what I mean? So he's eating noodles and some crooks. What are they called? The what are they called? The rabbit robbers or something? The rotten rabbits, which is, you know, some illustration here. Kai getting kind of beat up by the rotten rabbits, which is just a really kind of juvenile, stupid gang that basically, in the absence of the Overlord, the Crystal King, right? Some crazy evil entity that's going to attack the city, right? There's kind of like smaller Gotham City level crime lords and gangs kind of, you know, propping up. And Kai gets his booty handed to him, and Skylar has to save it by her getting her booty into the, you know, metaphorically, of course, and she kicks the crap out of him, and she's like, hey, look what you're doing. And Kai's like, look, you can do it. You can save the day. You know, you still have your amber powers or whatever, your manipulation powers. I got nothing. And Skylar's like, all right, look, you're kind of a bit wonky. So chapter 1 ends with, of course, Kai saying, hey, look, Fire Fang, which is that big giant lava fire snake Asphira made when she took Kai's powers. Fire Fang is back, and you know, all I got to do is go and you know, defeat Fire Fang, and I'll get my powers, whatever. Now, in Season 11, Kai got his powers back, basically by tapping into them deep inside himself while trying to save Nia from that boreal dragon thing. So in this, they kind of mentioned that he was like, oh, I concentrated really hard, and it just came back. So I don't know if the writers didn't really like effing understand the canon, but technically he did. You know, technically he did concentrate really hard. He just defeated the crap out of a dragon, but you know, it's all cool. So chapter 2 is called The Fire Fiends, and that kind of is Kai and Skylar's quote-unquote road trip in her little tuk-tuk to go to the Fire Mountain or whatever to, you know, kind of attack and get Kai's powers back from the Fire Fang. And there's these enemies called the Fire Fiends, and they're just kind of worshipping Fire Fang, and they all have these, you know, torches and all that, and it's kind of a cool setup. You know, here's a little picture of the tuk-tuk they go to. So, you know, it's a good premise. Again, once you can get past the kind of weird spot at, we kind of already saw this play out. It is unique to see Kai and Skylar actually kind of teaming up and going on these little adventures. I think that's kind of cool. It's a good premise, a good plot. Once, again, you get past that little thingy. And Kai's just kind of not being himself. He's kind of getting mad at Skylar, right? He's kind of like, no, get away from me. I can do this by myself. I don't need you. I don't need help. Whatever. I can do this. And Kai has always been a hothead ever since the pilot, or, you know, freaking season 1, whatever you want to say. He's always been like that. But now it's just kind of, not only is he a hothead, he's also kind of agitated and mad that, you know, everyone, you know, she's got her powers and she's clearly better. And, you know, I don't have a purpose anymore, right? The Crystal King was destroyed. What's the point? So he's kind of getting mad at Skylar, and of course they make their way to the Lake of Fire and all that, and they meet these townspeople, and the townspeople are like, oh, you gotta help us, the Fire Fiends are attacking our village. And coincidentally, as soon as they meet these villagers in the center of town, shite hits the fan, and a bunch of you know, Fire Fiends attack with like these fire catapults and all that pretty cool stuff. Chapter 3, the Lake of Fire. You know, Kai is trying to use his spin jitsu to kind of attack, you know, the Fire Fiends and all that, and he's kind of, because he doesn't have his fire powers, right? He's not technically the elemental master of fire. He's getting jacked up pretty effing bad, right? Like, he's just trying to do spinjitzu and beat these guys up, but they're just hitting him with torches and they're burning him, you know? When he's the fire ninja, you don't got to worry about that, right? You can just jump through fire. It's all good. But, you know, for the most part, when he doesn't have his fire powers, he's just a ninja. He's not an elemental master. He's just a ninja. So Skylar has to kind of use, you know, this giant tub of water and kind of, you know, show them who's boss. And Kai actually, you know, he gets mad, of course, doesn't necessarily save her, or, you know, thank her. So they leave, and then this is where they see the big lake of fire, which is pretty cool. There's Fire Fang, a little statue of Fire Fang there, which is pretty awesome. Kai goes in, he tells Skylar to F off, and he goes, and he falls in like a booby trap, and he just kind of slides through the floor. And chapter 4, Fire Fang, of course, Skylar catches him and says, hey, you know, Kai said, what? I don't understand. I didn't slip, did I? And she said, nope, I think it was a booby trap. You must have stepped on a stone that gave way under your weight. So she mentions, hey, you effed up pretty bad. And then this is where Kai kind of gets a little pissed off and says, I don't need you, get the fudge out of my life, sucker. And she kind of leaves. And then, of course, you know, Skylar gets kind of mad, said, good luck trying to defeat Fire Fang on your own, dipshiz. Don't say that in the book, I added that. It says dipshit in the book. No. But in the actual book, Kai goes into the cave and he tries to kind of beat up Firefang, right? He's shooting, he's doing spinjitzu and he's kind of kicking him around. And he's trying to get the serpent all dizzy and all that. He doesn't know what the F he's doing. He's just trying to do something, you know what I mean? He just desperately wants power back. And then he gets pretty jacked up. He's trying to attack Firefang, and then Firefang wedges some rocks against him, and he doesn't really know what to do. And then he saw another blast forming in Firefang's throat, kind of like Smaug, or like a fire-breathing dragon, deep inside the creature's throat. And in the final chapter, fighting fire with fire, Skylar, of course, saves him. She says, "Nice try, Toothy," and just kind of attacks him. And then after that, Kai says, "Oh, you didn't leave after all." She said, "Like I said, you're not like yourself. I thought maybe I can keep an eye on you, and it's a good thing I did." So they team up, and they kind of attack the serpent. Pretty cool animation there, pretty cool drawing there of Skylar using her powers and all that to kind of manipulate not Kai's power or fire, but the fire with the fire fiends, their torches that they use to attack them. She's using the fire from their torches to attack them, which is pretty cool. They're trying to do a double. Of course, Skylar's powers run out, and then Kai tries to do the same thing. He gets kind of jacked up in the process, and then from that, they basically just work in tandem as a team now, and Kai finally has his groove back, so to speak. And then from that, Kai basically gets his firepower back by realizing that when he had to protect the Green Ninja in Season 1, it wasn't about him. It was about protecting others and realizing that you don't have to fight this stuff on your own. You can rely on others like Skylar, like Wu, like the Ninja, whatever, and you can, rely on others to help you, and others can rely on you as well. So once he realizes that, his power comes back, and they defeat Firefang and all that. He kind of just gets knocked out, and he just kind of disappears. Either he dissolved back into elemental energy, or he just pissed off somewhere in the desert. I don't know. We don't know. The book ends off where Firefang is kind of MIA, but they leave, and they're just going to go back and protect Ninjago City now that he has his power back. He's going to go also check up on the ninja, and they're going to go back to Ninjago City and keep up the fight, and they leave back on their road trip. So overall, that is the end of Kai's story. Pretty friggin' cool. Again, it's a bit wonky that they kind of reused the same thing they did in Season 11, but it's a fun story. It's pretty funny, pretty intense. There's a lot of cool action in there, and I think Kai getting mad, we see him get a little mad toward the beginning of the show, but once Season 8 comes along, he gets a little Sons of Garmadon. He gets a little bit not jokey and dumb, but a big reason why he was so mad, as we find out in Hands of Time Season 7, is that he kind of misses his parents and he thinks they're traitors, and he just kind of feels a bit of a burden like that. So once that happens, he kind of lightens up. So to see him get kind of really pissed off again is not good, but it's something unique for his character to kind of come back, and it's kind of cool to see that Skylar sets him straight. And he gets his power back, and they kind of beat up Firefang, and they stop the fire fiends, and then they just kind of go. So it's a little cool self-contained adventure, and it's cool. Again, it is canon, so it is really cool. It's basically an essential story if you want to see what happens after Season 15. Now, the next one we're going to be doing is Zane, because that is the next in the story. Again, hopefully you have seen 15. Hopefully you either have read this book or you didn't care about spoilers, but I dropped the book. It's pretty cool to see what you think about this. Tell me in the comments down below what you're thinking. And again, I thought it was pretty good. If I were to rate it from a 0 to 10, I'd probably give it like a 9. I think a 9. My only issue again would be that they kind of reused the same baseline story, but again, they do it differently, and again, it's under different circumstances. So can't wait to cover Zane's, which I heard from other people online. Zane's is one of the best in the story, so can't wait to dive into it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.